Hi everyone, welcome and thank you so much for joining me for this practice. My name is Katie and today we're doing a quick practice to help you increase flexibility and strength in your upper back. If you are interested in becoming more flexible or getting stronger or just incorporating more yoga into your life, please consider subscribing to this channel. I have new videos every single week, and if you want to get flexible, I suggest that you start with this playlist. For this practice, you might need a yoga strap or a block if you have them. If not, you can always use cushions or a belt instead. So go ahead and get ready, and then we'll meet back here on the mat. We'll begin today with extended child's pose. So if you want to get a stretch into your hips, you can take your knees wide apart. If you keep your knees closer together, then you'll take the stretch into your lower back. We'll extend our hands towards the front of the mat, and then if you can lower your forehead down onto the ground. And if your forehead doesn't connect to the mat yet, you can always just take your hands, make a platform with your hands, and rest your forehead onto your hands instead. So we'll take a moment here just to settle into our practice. The hardest part is over now that you've made it here. So just starting to notice your breath now, filling up your belly, rising up into your chest. And as your breath expands your chest, it's also opening up your upper back as well. So just use your breath here to wash away any cobwebs that might be in your upper back, and just preparing it for our practice today. Now you can press your finger pads into the mat. Use an inhalation to pull yourself up. Bring your wrists in underneath your shoulders and your knees directly below your hips. So coming into tabletop pose here, really press yourself away from the mat and spread your fingers nice and wide apart. We'll do a few rounds of cat and cow. So as you inhale, bring your tailbone up towards the ceiling. Drop your belly down towards the mat. Bring your chest forward and then look up. As you exhale, tailbone points down. Round your spine, tuck your chin in towards your chest and drop your head down. We'll do a few more like this. Really feeling through every vertebrae as you move along your spine. Now the next time that you're in cat pose, we'll pause there. Really drop your head towards the mat, tucking your chin in towards your chest a little bit further. And as you round your spine and push yourself away from the mat, you'll start to feel a nice stretch throughout your upper back. So we'll pause here for a moment, breathing into whatever tightness you're feeling and just letting it dissolve away here. When you're ready, you can start to come back into your neutral spine, back into tabletop pose. And from here, we'll come into downward facing dog. So you can walk your hands slightly forward in front of you, curl your toes onto the mat, pick your knees up, dragging your hips up and back. And taking a moment just to settle into your downward dog, you can paddle your feet. And now to really open up the upper back, we'll start to point the tailbone towards the ceiling, releasing our head towards the mat so our ears are in line with the biceps. Push yourself away from your hands and start to notice that stretch along the back of your shoulder blades. Again here, just breathing into it for a moment. You can relax your jaw and your facial muscles while we're here. On your next inhalation, you can start to glide forward until you come into a high plank. So shoulders are directly above the wrists. Head is in line with the neck and the spine as best you can. And then pull your belly button gently in towards your spine. So we have a nice strong high plank. Take another deep breath in. And as you exhale, we'll bring a bend into the knees and start to drag the hips up and back again into downward facing dog. We'll repeat a few more times, inhaling, coming forward into our high plank. And when you're ready, exhale for downward facing dog. Inhale to come forward. Exhale to take it back. And just one more like this. Inhaling. Exhaling. Once you're back in your downward facing dog, you can bring your knees onto the mat. You can just sit on the mat for a moment, just giving your wrist a little bit of a break. And then from here, we'll come into a dolphin plank. So we're bringing our elbows onto the mat, having our forearms parallel to each other. Align your shoulders so they're directly above your elbows, and then we'll step our feet back into a plank. So again here, head is in line with your spine. Pull your belly button in towards the back of your body, feet about hip distance apart, and really push yourself away from the mat here. So your ears are resisting the temptation to drop down towards the shoulders. So we're doing really good work here, strengthening the upper back. Take nice slow and deep breaths in, and just try your best to hold the pose here for a few more breaths. When you're ready, you can drop your knees to the mat. We'll start to drag our hips back towards our heels, coming back into child's pose. So again, whatever version of child's pose feels best for you. Taking a moment just to let everything settle down again. Now pressing your finger pads into the mat again, use your next breath in to pull you back up towards tabletop pose. So we'll take it a little bit further, this time coming into dolphin pose. So you're bringing your elbows down onto the mat where your hands just were. Forearms are parallel to each other, fingers spread nice and wide. Curl your toes onto the mat here, and just like in downward facing dog, you can inhale to lift your knees off the mat and then drag your hips up and back. Trying to straighten the legs, but it's okay to keep a bend in the knees here too. Try to drop your head down in between your arms and keep pressing your forearms into the mat, lifting your ears away from your shoulders. And try to widen your collarbone here as you bring your shoulder blades onto your upper back. So again here, just staying for a few slow, deep breaths. Try to cinch your waist here, so as if you are pulling on some tight jeans, and that will help your breath to catapult up into your upper back. And if you want to challenge yourself a little bit further, you can play with lifting one foot at a time up off the mat. Take one more deep breath in, and now nice and slowly release both knees back to the mat. Sit your hips back onto your heels and find your child's pose for a moment. Taking some deep breaths in to really fill up the space of your upper back. Exhaling to get rid of any of that debris that we may have dug up. Pressing your finger pads into the mat, start to pull yourself up as you inhale, but this time we'll come forward all the way to lie on the belly. So moving into baby cobra pose, you can bring your feet together and press where your shoelaces would be firmly down into the ground. Palms can come next to your chest. On an inhalation, peel your hands and your chest up off the mat, hugging your elbows gently in towards the sides of your body and relaxing your shoulders away from your ears. Really asking the muscles in the upper back here to work. So notice as you breathe in, you're able to lift up a little bit higher and try to maintain that height through your exhalation. So we'll only stay here for about 2 or 3 more breaths. Keep breathing. And now when you're ready, you can use your next exhalation to take yourself slowly back down and come into crocodile pose. So you're making a pillow with your hands. You can rest your cheek or your forehead onto your pillow and then bring your big toes to touch each other, letting your heels drop out towards the edges of the mat. Just taking a moment here to let your body digest the pose. When you're ready, we'll make our way into locust pose now. So we're spreading the feet to about hip distance apart. Extend your arms down alongside your body with your palms facing up. You can rest your forehead to the mat. Taking a breath in, peel your head and your chest up off the mat, extending your fingers down towards your feet. Feet can stay on the mat, or for more of a challenge, you can let them hover up off the ground. Staying here just for a couple of breaths. Same idea, each inhalation helps us lift a little bit higher, and we're trying to maintain the height through the exhalation. If you want to open up your shoulders a little bit here, you can interlock your fingers, press your fist down away from you, and then gently pull your shoulders away from your ears. One more big breath in. And with control as you exhale, bringing everything back down, landing your palms next to your chest, and then we'll slowly pick ourselves up and drag the hips back towards the heels for child's pose. Just taking one breath in and out here. Now when you're ready, you can pick yourself up and you can come to sit in your most comfortable seat on the mat. So we'll make our way into cow face arms here. We'll stay here for a minute or two, so make sure you're comfortable. You can sit up on a cushion or a yoga block if you need to. Now when you're ready, take your right arm and push it far away from you. Bring it all the way back behind you, and once it won't go back anymore, turn your thumb down. Bend at your elbow and then try to bring that hand up as far in between your shoulder blades as you can. Left arm reaches up bend the elbow, and then maybe you can interlock your fingers together. It's okay if not. Just keep reaching your hands towards each other, or you can take a strap here and use that to bridge the distance. So once you're settled, point your top elbow up towards the ceiling and try to keep your neck as long and as straight as you can. You can relax your eyes here or even close them, feeling the sensations of this pose and just breathing into whatever tightness you're feeling. So we've done all of our strengthening work, and now we're moving into those flexibility enhancing poses. So just a couple more breaths here in cow face arms. Take one more deep breath in all the way down to your belly. And as you exhale, you can start to release your hands, bring them back out in front, and maybe circle off the shoulders here. Now we'll take that to the other side, so your left arm reaches out, push it away from you, take it all the way back and turn your thumb down. Bend your elbow and bring that hand up in between your shoulder blades. Right arm reaches up, bending and maybe interlocking the fingers, maybe not. Either way, we're just trying to get the fingers towards each other. Top elbow is pointing up, neck is nice and long. You can relax your eyes and just find a little bit of stillness here in this pose. Just connecting to your breath, observing it traveling in and out of your body, and trying to focus on the sensations you're feeling here. And this pose is the ultimate pose to open up your upper back. And it's going to help with any tension. It can also help to improve your posture. So try your best to stick with it for a few more breaths. We'll take our last deep breath in together now. And as you exhale, releasing yourself from the pose, bringing the hands out in front and maybe circling off the shoulders. And we'll take a gentle twist here, just bringing your right hand over onto your left knee, and then left hand can come in behind your tailbone. Inhale to lengthen up your spine. And as you exhale, gently rotate to look back over your left shoulder. Coming back to center, taking it to the opposite side, left hand onto the right knee, right hand in behind. Inhale to grow taller, exhale to twist. And coming on back to center now. You might just relax your hands wherever they naturally want to go, or you can bring them together at your heart. You might close your eyes and just bow your head for a moment. Finding a couple more deep breaths before we end our practice. Sending the breath all the way into your belly, and then letting it expand your chest and your upper back. And if it uncovers any areas of tension, use your exhalation to get that tension out of your body. And thank you so much for practicing with me today. I hope you enjoyed this quick practice. If you did, please let me know by leaving a thumbs up. I hope to see you again soon, but until then, namaste.